Gonzaga men's basketball lost just its second game of the year last night to number 23 BYU on the road. And usually when a team loses, it affects their NCAA tournament seedings as well as what happens in the AP poll. Well, the bigger picture is the NCAA tournament. Just far more important. So let's start right there. So I think the good news for Gonzaga is that I think they're still going to be a 1 seed as of now in the NCAA tournament, and they would be in the West region. So that means they'd start in Spokane for the first 2 rounds and then go to Los Angeles if they make it to the second weekend. I'd have them behind Kansas and Baylor for sure. The other 2 1 seeds are up for grabs, and it's not like Gonzaga's loss to BYU was a bad loss. I don't think that they should be penalized that much for it. Zags lost to a top 25 team on the road. Also, it really helped them that San Diego State lost to a not-so-good UNLV team yesterday. SDSU was one of the main Zag competitors for the 1 seed in the West region as they were undefeated, but not anymore. So, meanwhile, none of the teams on the 2 seed line right now did really anything to move up. Maryland was the strongest 2 seed in my opinion, and well, they lost to Ohio State earlier this afternoon. So if I'm putting it simply, I think just because of where Gonzaga was and what they've accomplished and the fact that they haven't lost that much and the team's losing behind them, I don't really think they get penalized that much. So now that leads me to the AP poll. So this is what I think the AP poll is going to look like tomorrow. I got Kansas at the 1, Baylor at the 2, Gonzaga at 3, Dayton at 4. Kansas beat Baylor, who was number 1 coming into this week. And so I, once again, don't think Gonzaga is going to get that penalized. They were number 2. Now I think they're going to move to number 3. It kind of gets back into the fact that, Gonzaga is affected and appreciated as much because they haven't lost that much this season. Well, other teams below them really did lose a whole bunch. Just going down the list of who lost, San Diego State was one of them that I mentioned already that took a tumble. I mentioned Maryland had lost as well. Duke got blown out this past week by NC State, so that's not a good look for them. And then Penn State lost as well. All those teams were in the AP top 10. I don't see Florida State making a jump from 8 all the way to ahead of Gonzaga. I think Dayton at 5 probably has the best chance of jumping the Zags. They both have the same number of losses, but I will say this, Gonzaga has better wins than the Flyers do, and I think overall, when we're looking at the AP poll right now, the season should be considered and not just what happened last week. So we're going to see what happens with Gonzaga moving forward. The AP poll comes out tomorrow around 9 a.m. our time. And then for the NCAA tournament seedings, I still think they hold on to the 1 seed line as, once again, it helps that a bunch of teams below them lost.